What is up, Wolfpack? Today we're going to be talking about exactly what you should be looking for in a product, as well as a secret little trick to validate your product idea using a keyword and a keyword research tool. So let's jump right into it. Before we get started, I just want to welcome you guys to the new channel. Thank you for being here. As you know, we recently hit 100,000 subscribers on my first channel, which I think at the moment we're actually at 130,000 subscribers, which is insane. That blows my mind. Thank you so much for the love. So if you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you find any of the tips useful in this video, hit the like button. Even if you don't find it useful, still hit that like button. We're all about love around here. But yeah, I want to create a separate channel that's more based around entrepreneurs and online entrepreneurship so that I can dedicate more time to that and create more in-depth tutorials and more relevant tutorials to you guys and engage with you on a more personal basis. So welcome to the new channel, and without further ado, let's get started. So just as I've always said, product research is the most important factor when it comes to creating a successful Amazon business. And that is because if you make a bad product selection, your business is set for failure. And recently I've been seeing a lot of guys in Facebook groups commenting on Facebook posts, as well as some YouTube videos and some YouTube comments saying that you shouldn't worry too much about Amazon, don't stress too much, just as long as you get started, just get started, pull the trigger on a product, get started, and you'll figure it out along the way. And I completely disagree with that. The reason is that if you make a bad product selection, you're shooting yourself in the foot right from the get-go, because you're going to be investing a lot of time over the next couple of months or couple of weeks, couple of years, however long it may be, into your Amazon business. And you're going to be shortcutting yourself. By shortcutting yourself, you're going to spend a fortune on Amazon, on advertising fees, on getting your product out there if it's not selling organically, if it's not ranking organically. You're just making it difficult on yourself. So there's a big difference between a decent product and a fantastic product, because that could be the difference between 10 units a day and 100 units a day. And if you're picking a bad product, you're creating a business that is not sustainable, that's not viable in the long term. And that's what Amazon FBA is all about. We're creating successful long-term businesses here. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, which a lot of people seem to think it is for some reason. This is generating a successful business. We're creating full-fledged businesses here, essentially. Although some of it is outsourced, obviously with the FBA and the fulfillment by Amazon, but it's still a full-on business. So you need to know right from the get-go how much you're willing to invest. You need to know your goals. You need to know how much you want to make so that you create a business that is sustainable. So today we're going to be using Viral Launch to find our product. As some of you know, as most of you know, I prefer this to Junglescout purely because I've noticed that the figures are more accurate, and you obviously get a ton more features and advanced features compared to Junglescout. So it's a lot easier to use, and it's more of a fully fledged platform. They do offer a ton of different other things as well. So if you want to use the same tool, there's a link in the description that will give you 50% off if you want to follow along, so you don't have to pay the full amount if you just want to try the tool out. So let's jump into my computer and we'll get started. Okay, so at the moment we're in Viral Launch's Launchpad sort of thing, which is all their tools listed together, and we're going to be using Product Discovery, which is their product research tool. So a lot of you guys may be familiar with this layout, or maybe you're familiar with a different tool, and you're most likely familiar with the product research method, which means you enter your sort of criteria that you're looking for, and then you'll be presented with a list of products that you can compare and dive further deeper into and figure out if it's a product that you want to compete with or a market that you want to enter into. But the problem with this is that you're getting individual products. So for example, let's take a look at something that's here, maybe this at a glance academic weekly planner of sorts, monthly planner, right? So this might be a product that's doing very well, and you think, okay, that's exactly what I want to do. And what people will do is they'll copy the exact product, which is a mistake as well, because you're copying an exact product. They may be generating sales in some other way, not necessarily just through Amazon. They could be driving external traffic from a different place, and you're setting yourself up for failure because that might not be a market that you want to enter into. So I'm going to use my preferred method of research, which is using the keyword research tool, or the keyword research method on Viral Launch's Product Discovery, because what this does is it gives you a keyword, not individual products. So I'll explain that further now, but you're getting a look at an entire market compared to an individual product. So for example, let's think about that monthly planner. You wouldn't be getting an exact monthly planner by a specific brand or a product that's doing very well, which is what the product research method does. It shows you exact products that are succeeding on Amazon. Whereas with the keyword tool, you're giving a sort of broader blanket perspective, saying that an entire market is doing well, an entire market is succeeding on Amazon, and you'll be able to slide into that market. Think of a market as sort of as an aisle in a department store or wherever it may be, or in a regular store. You're competing with that aisle, you're not competing with the entire store or individual products. So let's take a look at what we're looking at. So with the keyword research tool, you've got obviously your categories that you can search in, which are the different categories on Amazon. So I've selected a few here already. These are some of my favorites. Two of my personal favorites are pet supplies and baby. And that's because new moms or new parents and pet owners are the easiest people to sell to. They're willing to buy anything for their animals or for their children. So those are two of my favorites. I have deselected baby, as you can see, because that is a gated category, which means that you have to get permission to sell in that, because you could be creating a product for a baby that could be harmful to someone's baby's health, could be harmful to their livelihood. So you don't want to, Amazon makes that a barrier to entry to that market by gating that category, whereas pet supplies are completely open and you're able to sell in that category quite easily. So like pet toys or maybe dog beds and things like that. So I've selected a few categories that I like to sell in and that aren't gated, so that you can select the same ones if you'd really like to do that. Now, for monthly revenue, I always like to keep a minimum of $10,000. Now, this is up to you as well, what you're willing to invest, because a lot of people forget that this is average monthly revenue. That doesn't mean exactly how much money you're going to make every month. This means the overall revenue, excluding what your profit would be. So say your average monthly revenue is $10,000 a month, but you've only got a 50% profit margin. That means you're only going to be making $5,000 a month in profit. And a lot of people forget that there's a lot of costs that go into Amazon FBA, like advertising fees, production costs, fees that get paid to Amazon for their fulfillment fees, and things like that, which really bring down your profit margin. So saying an average monthly revenue of $10,000 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be making $10,000 a month off of a single product. So I like to keep that at a minimum, and maybe all the way to a range of $50,000 or whatever it might be. So I'm going to leave that max open because we're going to use the other criteria here to really narrow down our search. So our average minimum price, I like to keep this at a minimum of $22 and a max of about $50. So the lower you go with this, the lower your profit margin is going to be, because obviously production costs come into it, shipping fees, Amazon FBA fees, all of those things come into the cost of the product. So the cheaper and cheaper and cheaper your product gets, the smaller your profit margin becomes. So as the same thing goes with the other end of the product, the more expensive a product becomes, the more expensive it becomes to manufacture that product. So if you're selling a product that's, say, $400, you're going to have to fork out whatever the production cost would be. Say if you've got a 50% profit margin, that's $200 in production costs. So that's $200 per product, and your initial investment's going to be astronomical. So I like to keep that at a maximum of $50 as well, especially for newer sellers and people who are just entering into Amazon FBA and don't really have a lot of money to invest. So we'll keep that at that. Average monthly sales, I like to keep this at a minimum of 300, and the reason for that is I want to do at least 10 sales a day, 10 products per day. Anything less than that, it's not really a steady market or a steady sales product, and might not be something that's selling very regularly, and you want something with a typical sales pattern that sells often. And then average review count, I like to keep this at a maximum of 75. And if you don't know what the reviews or how reviews work on Amazon, basically the more reviews a product has, the harder it is to enter into that market. Because if a product has, if top 10 of the top products in a specific search has 100 reviews, that means you also need at least 100 reviews on your product to compete with those guys, or somewhere within that range. So that can be a very big barrier to entry if you want to rank organically for a product or for a keyword and be able to compete with those guys. So we keep that at a maximum of 75. Ideally, you want it much lower than that, but you'll see that as we search now. So we can scroll down and we can get more advanced filters as well. Just with Viral Launch, the number of advanced filters you get is insane. You can really narrow down your search to exactly what you want it to be. So let's go over a couple of things here. So as I said before, you can select your average profit margin. So you don't want to have your profit less than about 30%, because Obviously, anything lower than that, if the market fluctuates, maybe the market dips, you're going to be losing a lot of money and you're not really going to have much of a profit margin. You're not going to make much money compared to your investment. So your return on investment is not going to be very high. So I like to keep my minimum profit margin of at least about 30%. Then the rest of the features here, sales year over year, you can play around with these. I like to keep the sales pattern as typical. And the reason for that is you're looking for something that has consistent sales year round. If you select something like seasonal or declining, you're going to find a product that peaks throughout specific periods of the year and then dips, which isn't really good for your sales pattern, because maybe you don't sell out of your product and then you pay long-term storage fees on your product that's sitting in Amazon. Whereas you'd rather have something that has a typical sales pattern and sells month over month over month, so that you can consistently bring in new inventory and you have a steady source of income from that specific product. And you're not worrying about seasonality and things like that. Then we can bring our sales to review ratio. So this is the average sales to review ratio. Exactly as I said before, you want lower reviews and more sales. So you can change this to whatever you like to keep it at. I'll keep it at nothing for now. We can work that out later. And then a little search volume exact and search volume broad, which is something that we'll touch on just now, which I spoke about earlier in the video using a keyword research thing. Then we're going to come down and I'm going to raise this Amazon fulfillment to 100%. And the reason for that is not Amazon fulfillment, I mean FBA fulfillment. We want that at 100. Is it already at 100? It is. Okay. So the reason we want that at 100 and that at 100 as well is because we're looking for products that are being fulfilled by Amazon already, that are being sold by private label sellers. We don't want to compete with Amazon themselves. Even though we're selling on Amazon, they're doing our fulfillment. Amazon's not really designed for the people selling on the platform. They're trying to maximize their love for the customer and not for the people behind the scenes. So if you have a product and you're competing directly with Amazon, be sure as heck that Amazon's going to be getting the sales and not you, because they're going to be making more money that way. So we can go ahead and click view filter results and we'll get a search result from product discovery with a list of keywords and basically a list of markets that we can enter into. So now we can see a few keywords here: hanging wall file organizer, compostable plates, fascia blaster, cash register rolls. And these are basically markets that we can enter into, not exact products, right? Because it's hanging wall file organizer, it's not necessarily brand hanging wall file organizer, it's just the entire market. So now we can see that it says warning popular result. And I've spoken about this in previous videos. And that basically means that the other people using this product discovery tool are looking at this exact same product and considering it, or maybe searching for it and seeing it, or pinning the product, which you can do here. You can pin this keyword. So that means that a lot of people using this are doing that exact same thing. So you might want to avoid this product or this market, depending on how you feel and how comfortable you are with entering into something that might become competitive in the very near future, or you can just ignore it entirely. So I'll go over a few of the other categories here. We've got an idea score, which is Viral Launch's rating of that market. So it's whether or not they think that this is a good idea to enter into. So obviously this is a 5-star idea score because it is something that is going to be popular, or it might be a very good product, and that's the reason it's a popular result as well. So then we're going to go have a look at the average price. Now, the reason we have an average price here is because it's averaging the price of that specific keyword or that market that we're entering into, the products in that market, right? It's not individual products that says this product is $29, this product is $15, whatever. This is an average price amongst those, right? Average sales, 508 sales a month, which is good. Average reviews, 46, that's quite high. It's not too high, but you could easily compete with these guys. Sales to review ratio, again, as I spoke about before, you want a product that's got a ton of sales and very few reviews. And then average revenue, which is $10,500 a month, and your profit 5.7. So remember, this is what I spoke about earlier. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm selling a $40,000 a month product on Amazon. I'm making $40,000 a month. That is not the case at all. You have to factor in your other costs that are involved, which a lot of guys don't speak about for some reason. You have to really consider what your actual profit might be. So let's scroll down and just take a look at something. and I will show you something that's pretty cool. This is what I was speaking about with a brand new tool on from Viral Launch. So we've got thermal paper rolls here, right? Now you'll see something here called search volume, 3.2 thousand broad, 3.9 thousand exact. Now what this is this is linking from Viral Launch's new tool called keyword research. So very blatant, very simple. I love the way they name the things: product discovery, keyword research. You really can't go wrong. Figure out what you're doing. So let's take a look at the search for thermal paper rolls 14 by 50, right? Now what this is doing is it's giving us the search volume, or the number of times this keyword is searched on Amazon. So the great thing about this is that you can validate a product idea like this very easily, because what happens a lot of the time is you might find a product or a market that's selling very well and you're like, oh, this is great. Maybe you find something that is selling like a toy, a frozen toy or something like that. And you're like, oh, this is great. I want to sell this. But you enter into that market and then you don't get any sales. And the reason for that is that they could be driving their sales externally, driving external traffic. Maybe there's a movie out that's driving that sort of thing. Maybe they have a campaign running that you have no idea about that is driving sales to that specific product or that specific market. And a lot of people don't consider that. So what this keyword research thing does is it allows you to see how many times people are physically searching for a specific keyword on Amazon. So if you can rank for those keywords that are being searched, it means you're going to start getting those sales. So because all of that traffic is internal within Amazon's sort of ecosystem. So let's take a look at the exact search volume and search it by that, right? So thermal paper we can see is getting 2,500 monthly searches for that exact keyword, right? So that means if you open up thermal paper on Amazon, we'll search for thermal paper and see what is being sold. So we can see these are thermal cash register papers that seems to be ranking the highest for the specific keyword. So this might be something that's very viable because we're looking at an entire market and something that gets searched on Amazon and might not necessarily be driving external traffic, because for the most part, just think about it, these thermal cash register paper rolls, I highly doubt they have a campaign that's running that is promoting cash register rolls because it's a very specific office product. So those are things to take into account. One thing you might want to take into account with this product is that it looks quite heavy. For example, a 32 pack of paper rolls in a big box, that's going to be quite heavy. So just as we've spoken about before, our product research criteria, we're looking for a product that's small, a product that's light, a product that's easy to ship. Because if a product is big and heavy, you're going to pay a fortune on shipping fees, getting that product manufactured overseas and then sent to Amazon. So this might not be viable in that sense, depending on where you're getting it manufactured and where you're getting it shipped from. So that is a great way to validate your product idea using using Viral Launch's new keyword research tool, which I think is out of this world. So we can go back to our product research tool and we can go and scroll down and see a ton of different markets: rubbing alcohol, mushroom supplements of sorts. And you can go through pages and pages and pages. And remember, you don't want to cut yourself short here. You want to spend time researching a product. You want to find a product that's viable, a product that you can add to your brand, maybe a product that you can eventually create more product around. For example, if you sell cash register rolls, maybe you eventually start selling cash registers, maybe you start selling cash register ink, maybe you start selling cash register part replacements, and you build a brand around that. So you have loyal customers, you build funnels, you build email marketing techniques and email marketing platforms around that, or campaigns around that, so that you can resell and retarget and upsell to your existing client base. So that is something that you have to think about, and a lot of people don't think about that in terms of building a sustainable long-term business on Amazon. You want to build something and find products that are not only one-hit wonders like some musicians. You want to build a sustainable long-term business or sustainable long-term music career. You don't want a one-hit wonder and then you're forgotten about. So those are just some things to take into account. I really do hope you try it out. Try out Viral Launch's new keyword research tool. There is a discount code for that as well in the description box. And yeah, try it out. Let me know how it goes. If you guys have any questions on this new tool or on Amazon FBA in general, just pop it in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys as much as I can. And don't forget to join the private Facebook group, which I've just created in conjunction with this channel, so that we can engage and we can chat on a more personal basis and discuss your businesses, discuss your Amazon businesses, discuss anything with regards to online marketing, entrepreneurship, and that sort of thing. So if you did like the video, don't forget to hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. And if you didn't like the video, hit the like button, because we're all about love around here, as I've said in the beginning of this video. So, and hit subscribe, you'll get notified. Just turn on that little bell notification thing, because this is a new channel, so it won't get pushed to your subscription box as easily. So make sure you hit that bell to get notified about new videos. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and all this love and all the support. And I shall see you in the next video. Cheers.